Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to Squintillions. Today, I'm talking about 529 plans, with the first part of the video being a general overview, and the second looking at the allocations I have set up in my son's accounts. A smart way to save for college right now is by opening a tax-advantaged 529 account. Inside the account, your investment earnings can grow tax-deferred, allowing for a higher return on investment than if the funds were in a taxable account. If you are viewing this video outside of the U.S., note that most 529 plans require the account owner to be a U.S. citizen or a resident alien with a Social Security number or an individual taxpayer identification number. For those that meet that requirement, you can open a 529 account for yourself if you are over the age of 18 or for your children as soon as they are born. Money in the account can be used for certain kindergarten through 12th grade education expenses, college tuition, and other eligible education-related expenses. Here's something I haven't heard other people talking about with these accounts. The SECURE Act was passed in December 2019, allowing up to $10,000 from a 529 plan to be used for student loan repayment after graduation. With a 529 account, it is easy for grandparents and other family members or friends to contribute money to a child's future education. When looking into opening an account, be aware that 529 plans vary from state to state, so carefully read the details of the account and check on the administrative fees before you open it. There are rules on when and how the money is withdrawn and what expenses are eligible. Know that you can open a 529 plan in a different state from the one that you reside in. There are no federal income tax deductions for 529 contributions. Many states have a tax deduction for investing in your home state 529 plan, but only a few states give tax deductions for investing out of state. Please consult your accountant or tax preparer regarding your own circumstances. I'm going to move on to talking more on financial planning here based on my research and experiences. I want to remind you that this information is for your consideration, but does not constitute personal or professional financial advice. Please do your own research before committing to any strategy or investment. You know, on airplanes, when the flight attendant tells you to put the oxygen mask on yourself before helping others? The same goes with saving for your child's college fund. Get your finances under control before you begin regular contributions to your child's college fund. Part of that is prioritizing saving for your retirement over saving for college. There are no scholarships for being a senior citizen, and you'll need great credit to get a low interest rate loan in your twilight years. We also don't know what might happen regarding college costs in the future, but your retirement costs are imminent unless death comes for you first. For those who've been working in the U.S., Social Security can be considered as part of your retirement plan, but shouldn't be relied on exclusively. Also, for savings, I recommend putting the maximum allowed amount in a Roth IRA or traditional IRA each year, currently $6,000. And that's beyond what you might be saving as part of an employer retirement plan, such as a 401k. Even if you have some debts you are paying off, you should still, at minimum, open the 529 account for your child early on, as it is an ideal place to stuff away work bonuses or monetary gifts. Begin making regular contributions to the 529 account once all your high interest debts are paid and your retirement savings are on track. Yes, you should make deposits into the 529 account if you are paying a mortgage, as mortgages tend to have lower interest rates than the return you can make on the investments in the 529 account. You may wish to put away a portion of your child's allowance in their account. Even $20 per month building up over time will help with at least the first year of college. If your teen is earning money at a job, encourage him or her to save a large portion of the earnings in the 529 account. This is the perfect opportunity to have a conversation with your child about setting goals and saving money. Show them the account balance and charts each month so they can see the progress. Note that 529 accounts typically invest in mutual funds in the stock market, so there is a chance that your account can lose value if the market goes down. If you have a low risk tolerance level, choose conservative, principal protected investments such as fixed income options like bond funds, or keeping a percentage of cash in the account. You'll also want to rebalance the portfolio periodically, skewing more conservatively as your child gets closer to his or her college enrollment date. Some plans have age-related funds that will automatically adjust as your child gets older. We live in California, and my two sons each have a Scholar Share 529 college savings account. I last rebalanced their investments over a year ago, so recently I thought it was time to check over the plans. Since I last adjusted the various investments, I have learned more about the value of investing in index funds, and that over time, passively managed funds typically perform better than active funds and for a lower fee. The Scholar Share accounts are managed by TIAA-CREF tuition financing, and so the choices are in portfolios invested in TIAA-CREF mutual funds and bond funds. Now I will explain the four main types of investment choices available and share how I have allocated the investments for my boys moving forward this year as we look at the Scholar Share website. I'm here at the Scholar Share website at scholarshare529.com because I want to show you what is possible for investing inside a 529 account. First, I'm going to go to Research, Guaranteed Portfolio option. The Principal plus Interest investment portfolio under this heading is the most conservative option available through Scholar Share. It is the choice if you want to keep your money out of the market. It is essentially the equivalent of a high interest rate savings account with the benefit of tax-deferred earnings. The current interest rate is 1.70%. People who will begin withdrawing money in the next school year or are already withdrawing money would keep a larger portion of their money in this portfolio. Now I'm going to go to single fund investment portfolios. There are 4 single fund portfolios available at Scholar Share. I have decided to invest in 3 out of the 4 funds. I'm ignoring their index bond portfolio. I practice what I preach regarding investing in index funds. I have allocated 25% of my son's account assets to the Index US Large Cap Equity Portfolio, which has 100% of its investment in TISPX. This fund tracks the S&P 500. This portfolio has shown the strongest historical rate of return since inception in 2011 of all the offerings available through Scholar Share, and it's at 14.56%. It also has the lowest total annual asset-based fee at 0.08%. Along with this next portfolio, the Index US Equity Portfolio, 100% invested in TIEIX, tracks the Russell 3000 Index. Its rate of return since inception is a strong 14.27%. I have set 22% of the assets in my son's accounts to be invested in this portfolio. The Social Choice portfolio also tracks the Russell 3000 index, but the advisor attempts to align with the returns from the index while meeting certain environment, social, and governance factors, which is often abbreviated as ESG. Socially conscious and responsible investors like myself value companies that take such factors into consideration as part of running their businesses. The rate of return for this portfolio, which is invested 100% in TIAA-CREF, is a healthy 13.46% since inception, with an annual cost of 0.25%. I don't mind paying a slightly higher rate for the fees for this portfolio, as I want to show my support for this type of investment option. The asset allocation I've set for this portfolio is 10%. And now we'll look at multi-fund portfolios. There are 6 different types of portfolios available under this heading, and each of these has an actively managed or passively managed option. The multi-fund portfolios are in diversified equity, growth, moderate growth, conservative, diversified fixed income, or index international equity. There are 2 of these funds in which my son's assets are invested. First, I previously had a portion of my son's assets in the active diversified equity portfolio. But with the rebalancing effort, I decided to switch to the passive diversified equity portfolio with an allocation of 10%. The active and passive portfolios hold slightly different underlying funds, as you can see, and I like the choices for the passive version better. While the active version performed marginally better since inception at 12.24%, versus 11.86% for the passive version. The advantage, I feel, was negated by the higher annual asset-based fee. Also, the passive version performed better by 2.22% over the last year, and its 0.12% annual fee is more attractive moving forward than the 0.55% annual fee of the active portfolio. The second multi-fund portfolio is the only actively managed investment in my son's 529 accounts, and that's the active growth portfolio. The annual fee is 0.54%, and the return since inception is at 9.97%. Despite the higher fee and lower return than other options, I elected to stay in this portfolio because I liked the added diversity of the investments included. This portfolio has the lowest asset allocation of all my choices at 8%. Moving on to the enrollment year investment portfolios. Scholar Share plans recently changed from having age-based portfolios to enrollment year portfolios. This allows the investor to focus on when the student will actually need to use the money instead of being based on his or her current age. While this terminology change helps with planning for kids who may be advanced for their age or those who might take a gap year, where the change is most helpful is for adult students planning on going to college. These portfolios are diversified among different asset classes and risk levels. The assets among the different investment areas are automatically rebalanced within the portfolio as the student gets nearer to the enrollment timeframe. My sons were previously enrolled in the active age-based portfolios appropriate to each of them. I have adjusted their investments to be in the passive enrollment year portfolios based on the years they would go to college if they attend right after graduating high school. I have put
25% of their assets into their enrollment year portfolios. For those not wanting to go through the process of allocating money to multiple funds, putting 100% of your asset allocation into an enrollment year portfolio would be a suitable option, given the diversity of investments and the effort to minimize risk built into the portfolio.
I have set all future contributions to the plans to fund the portfolios along the same percentage allocations I have described regarding rebalancing. I have monthly automatic withdrawals set up from my checking account to contribute directly to each of my son's 529 accounts. Rebalancing of existing assets can be done twice per year, but allocations for income and contributions can be adjusted at any time. It can be difficult deciding how much money you ultimately want to save in a 529 account because there can be a lot of unknown factors when you're trying to predict the future. Cost of tuition varies greatly across different universities and states. If you want to, you can look up rates for educational institutions at the website College Calc. I'll leave the link in the description below. Where will your children want to go to university? Where will they be accepted? Will they get a scholarship? Will they leave partway through a program? Will you put more in the account than they actually need to spend? If these thoughts worry you, remember that the account beneficiary can be changed anytime. If you have money left over in the 529 plan from your first child, the remainder could be used for your second child, yourself, a niece, a nephew, or even a grandchild. Of course, you could pull the rest of the money out of the account. But remember that withdrawals not used for education-related expenses are subject to state and federal income taxes and a 10% federal tax penalty on earnings. Additionally, California charges a 2.5% tax penalty on earnings from such withdrawals. While you are making financial plans for the future, remember to save some money in a high-interest rate savings account or invest money in other financial products that can be used to help your child with non-education related expenses as they become adults. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and remember to subscribe for more content on personal finance and personal growth here on Squintillions. If you are interested in opening a 529 account, there is a wonderful, helpful step-by-step guide, How to Open a 529 Plan, on the Saving for College website. I'll leave a link to their guide in the description.